All right. Hello, everybody. It is November 19th, 2024, and Bitcoin is $92,321 today. So flirting with the all-time high again at I think the all-time high is just over 93 and a half. We wicked there for a little bit. But right now in a really good spot, of course. And today I wanted to talk about why you're not bullish enough on Bitcoin. And I'm going to be going through supply and demand dynamics that are at play. Starting, of course, here, Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy has acquired 51,780 Bitcoin at $88,627 per coin. Um, as of this week, they hold 331,200 Bitcoin acquired for 16.5 billion at just under $50,000 per Bitcoin. So 4.6 billion is a lot. And MicroStrategy is buying at, what sounds like a high price of 88,627. But I mean, you can even look at the price now and see that they are making money off of that and that it's profitable. He's going to continue buying the top forever. And $4.6 billion is an unimaginable amount of money. If you're watching this and you don't think this is a big deal, um, I don't know what to tell you. Bitcoin's a fixed supply asset, but more on that in a bit. And just after this announcement, MicroStrategy is proposing an offering of more money to buy more Bitcoin, almost 2 billion here. These just when I thought, he couldn't be more bullish, I think he's outdoing himself. And this is going to be a perpetual bid on Bitcoin in the billions and setting a higher floor price forever. No company is ever going to have as much Bitcoin as MicroStrategy just because they got in early and their conviction is so high. They will continue to accumulate Bitcoin. I think they have more than the United States government and almost as much as BlackRock, which is wild to think about. And this is just one company. I mean, MicroStrategy, I have to check at their current market cap, what it is now. It's probably between 40 or 50 billion. It changes so quickly. But this is it on their website. You could see here their Form 8K. Um, just absolutely wild to see a company buy 50,000 Bitcoin and holding 331,000 Bitcoin. A lot of people are sleeping on this. A lot of people think it's a joke. A lot of people think MicroStrategy is a joke. This is one of the smartest plays ever. I think a few years ago, MicroStrategy had a market cap of about $2 billion. And like I said, I think they're between 40 or 50 billion. They're bigger than Coinbase now. Um, And it's funny, all they're doing is buying Bitcoin, and they tell everyone what their strategy is, tell everyone why to adopt the strategy. This it's not really a secret. I just find it funny that people, you know, sleep on this. People are going to ignore MicroStrategy just like they're going to ignore Bitcoin because they see the returns and think it's too good to be true. It can't be that easy, but sometimes, the easiest solution is the best solution. So we have a ton of demand going from Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. I'm sure Saylor owns a lot of Bitcoin personally. I think he's come out and said he owns 16 or 17,000. That was maybe 3, 4 years ago. I'm sure that number is alarmingly higher than that, but I guess he just doesn't want to tell us, and that's fine. Like, who cares? But you can bet your ass it's more than 16 or 17,000 Bitcoin. More news for demand Bitcoin ETF options trading will start today on iBit. So options trading will begin on Tuesday on the $42 billion iShares Bitcoin Trust. This is from Barron's, the largest of the Bitcoin exchange traded funds. A Nasdaq spokesperson confirmed to Barron's late Monday. The move offers a new way to train trade, hedge, and speculate on the cryptocurrency. All right, Bitcoin ETFs such as BlackRock's iShares fund, which trade with the ticker IBIT, made their debut in January. We know this. An industry push to offer options trading on the funds recently cleared some regulatory hurdles. So looks like this is happening today. Bitcoin is up on this news. Monday afternoon, we are at 91.2, 91.3, I guess. Looks like it's gone back to this price of around 92.5. Again, Bitcoin is up 30% since the election. And if we look at year to date, Bitcoin is up 109%, starting the year at just over $44,000. And I think that was after a rally too, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So November we were, closer to the mid 30s. So we'll see options trading begin. A lot of activity is expected here. Obviously, investors like to play this any way they can, and this has been missing. IBIT. Let's take a look at IBIT. I think around 40 billion assets under management. It is wild seeing it be 50 bucks. I think it came out at like 25. Yeah, wow. Super interesting. We're going to see demand increase as a result of that as well. If I'm not mistaken, you also have other companies looking to adopt a Bitcoin strategy. The last thing I wanted to talk about is just the supply and demand. So, supply and demand. We went over some demand. Of course, there's a lot more than that. We also have Trump talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, um, which just like most of the news we hear now in 2024, almost 2025, seems too good to be true. But what is this garbage ad? Yep, like I said, too good to be true. All this news you're hearing about billionaires and large companies buying up all of the Bitcoin options trading beginning on BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, Trump considering a strategic Bitcoin reserve. All of these things will, you know, continue sparking demand, giving people reasons to buy Bitcoin, legitimizing Bitcoin, just at the highest levels of government and Wall Street, you name it. Dennis Porter, CEO and founder of Satoshi Action Fund, has claimed that former President Donald Trump's team is considering an executive order to establish a national strategic Bitcoin reserve. This move aims to position the federal government ahead of individual states that are considering similar legislation. Yep, I think Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, is proposing this. So definitely wild. All of this news together with the Bitcoin Reserve, Michael Saylor, options trading. We have Bitcoin ETFs. They're almost taken for granted now, even though they've only been around for maybe 10 months. Other forms of demand coming from El Salvador, to a lesser extent, retail investors like you and me. I mean, I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I will just continue buying more. Now, we can talk about supply. The amount of supply the amount of a product, supply is the amount of a product or service that producers are willing and able to sell at a given price. Supply is influenced by production costs and market competition. Yes, that's true, but Bitcoin supply is not influenced by market competition and production costs. The supply issuance is scheduled, and this could go up or down a little bit, but generally, we know how much Bitcoin is going to come in and be mined, created, and it's just going to go down over time. It has nothing to do with the demand. So most products, when demand goes up, we see the supply rise up to capitalize on that demand. And now with Bitcoin, the whole world could want Bitcoin. We could wake up tomorrow and, you know, Apple wants to buy $30 billion of Bitcoin. We could have like someone like Elon Musk Michael Dell wanting to buy, I don't know, tens of billions of dollars in Bitcoin. We could have the United States saying they want to buy Bitcoin. We could have everyone saying they want to buy it, and it doesn't change the supply. Unlike everything else, unlike oil, unlike gold, you'll see, actors in this space try to capitalize on the demand and, you know, crank out more supply, which will level out the price, but they'll capitalize on that. We can't see that with Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't care how much demand there is. Bitcoin just produces block after block after block, and it doesn't matter what demand is. We've never seen this before with anything, which explains Bitcoin's meteoric price rise. The market cap of Bitcoin is $1.83 trillion, and it's just been 5 days since the all-time high. We are only 1% down. And you could see here the halvings, you could see the price. You can't really see demand here because you wouldn't be able to see it, but all you have to know is that this is programmed and is not going to change regardless of supply and demand and how they interact. Also, Bitcoin is a Veblen good, so a little bit different yet supply and demand dynamics, that when the price goes up, the demand actually increases, unlike something like milk, eggs, butter, you name it. Usually what happens is as the price goes up, the demand goes down because people don't want to pay more and more for something. But with Bitcoin and other Veblen goods, you can see as the price increases here, so there's a marginal price increase, the marginal demand will increase. This is the demand curve. This is different than normal supply and demand, but of course we know Bitcoin is not normal, and the whole world is looking to get their hands on Bitcoin. Don't sell your Bitcoin if you don't have to. If there's an emergency, I understand that things need to be taken care of, and that's fine. The people who have the most money in Bitcoin are usually those who just had it early. They didn't need to put in $1 million. All they did was put in, 20 bucks 10, 15 years ago, maybe maybe 100 bucks, maybe 1,000 bucks. And the winners are the ones that just don't sell their Bitcoin. You see the whole world fighting over Bitcoin, and even if they're not, the whole world's going to want it. They just don't know it yet. You could see the world, kind of starting to fall apart with the debt. Just completely irresponsible. Speaking of all-time highs, you could see the US debt clock reaching a all-time high, going parabolic at 36 trillion, 11 billion, 622 million, 600,000, 700,000. You get the point. This is never going to stop going up, and Bitcoin is also never going to stop going up when priced in something that is just printed out of thin air. And those who understand this will win and benefit, and those who don't will be impoverished. If you guys like the content, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you.